take away the noise. If you can figure out who you are, which I know is not simple or easy, that'll help you figure out what you want. And the more you know about yourself and what you need from yourself, that can help you find your person. When my mother was diagnosed, they basically just told me to take her home, make her comfortable, and let her just, waste away. And she was like, no, I feel fine. Let's go fight this. The biggest thing that I've had to do is realize that if I take this on solely by myself, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna end up in a hospital. I always had it in my head that by 28, if I have not found my person, that person doesn't exist. I didn't get married till I was 39. Had I not waited until that age, I wouldn't have met the man that I plan on spending the rest of my life with, and who gets me and who understands me. You can't search for anyone on our app. We want people to put themselves out there when you want to put yourselves out there. We're trying to bridge that gap between what you want, what you think you want, and who's in front of you. The one thing I think we should all be doing a lot more these days is actually...
The big silence. It's time to sing.
Welcome to the Big Silence Podcast. Stephanie Fischer, CEO of the NeverMissed app, which I can't wait to get into that. I have so many questions and so many notes.
Well, thank you for having me. I have to say, I'm also a huge fan. So I remember in fact, I tried to do a Tone It Up workout this morning and almost injured myself.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. Because I still have screenshots. Because I'm the girl who would take screenshots because I knew that I would print it all out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't be the OG girl who walks around with printout folders of workouts.
There's something about printing out. Even I can print on my note cards, but I need to print it out, make notes, glue it on.
Yes. And I have to write it out. Yeah. Because I'm one of those people that I've used my notes app, I think on my phone 10 times ever.
Oh, really?
Because it gives me this anxiety that they might disappear. So that's why I never use my notes app. I think I take that back. My FedEx number is in my notes app, which I think is fair. Outside of that, it's mostly just oh crap, did I go to the grocery store today? You did not. What did you not buy at the grocery store? And then I look at it 2 months later and go, oh, that's cute. That did nothing for me.
So OG Tone It Up printouts, PDFs. I was just talking to someone yesterday, one of my fitness friends. I'm like, can we bring back the PDF?
Why shouldn't we?
I love the apps, and I use the app, obviously, Tone It Up app, but there's something also a tangible. I need both.
I'm a visual person. Mm-hmm. I need to see it. I need to look at it, but I also need, I don't know, there's just something about staring at a screen all day. We didn't grow up staring at screens.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too. I look back and I find all these big binders of sheets and sheets and sheets. After my mom died, I found a 7-inch binder full of emails she had printed out.
Yeah.
Still not sure why she printed out a 7-inch binder full of emails. She did.
I feel like my mom did stuff like that. But, okay, you brought up your mom.
as we bring up mothers.
So I love to dive into the childhood of my guests because I find so often that a lot of time there's some correlation between childhood and what we do as our career as an adult. So bring me back to little Stephanie.
So I was born in Minnesota, which, I don't remember anything about Minnesota, thankfully. Mm-hmm. Well, correction, I knew it was cold. But we moved to Alabama when I was about 2. So the first thing I remember is going from very, very cold to very, very warm. Mm-hmm. And growing up, my parents divorced when I was 4. Okay. But my dad was a surgeon, so it wasn't like he was going to be home more often. It was just a little more of it just took an extra 5 minutes to go see him.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty normal growing up, except for, well, as one would say, mothers. Mm-hmm. And so my mother was married 4 times. Oh, wow. My dad was number 2.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
I am my mother's only child.
Okay.
That's where things kind of get complicated.
Okay.
So I'm my mother's only child. But then my dad has 2 boys that are 9 and 11 years younger than me. So, and I wasn't raised, I was raised around them, but not in the same house.
Yeah.
So being an only child, I always like to joke, it's like if I could go back in time and tell someone, stop telling only children, you're so mature for your age. I'm like, yeah, because I'm the only other person in the house. Mm-hmm. I'm the adult here. I'm the second adult.
I get that a lot too.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not a compliment.
Back then I was like, oh, that's a compliment. I've never thought of it that way.
Because in reality, it's a response to chaos. Yeah. And it's a response to, from a very young age, it was just my mother and I. And so I mean, I remember one of my fondest memories is watching LA Law reruns with my mother. And I joke that maybe 50% of the reason I went to law school is because I assumed that all lawyers looked like Jimmy Smits and Corbin Burnson and Harry Hamlin. That is a lovely, lovely, gorgeous man. They don't.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. They don't.
So your mother, through Law and Order, inspired you to go
Literally
to law
Law and
school.
Order and LA Law.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching Law and Order marathons with my mother, you know, LA Law marathons with my mother. And of course, my father, being a doctor, was not amused by that and was bent set on me just not only being a doctor, but being a urologist, just like him. Now, let me take a side note of that. So my father, being a urologist, had an interesting sense of humor. That usually goes along with urology. My father, when I was 12, built a pool in the shape of a penis.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
It gets better. So, and it was built by, very aptly named, Cox Pools. Yeah.
Okay. Did he seek out Cox pools for this penis
Well, they were
pool?
kind of the only game in town.
Okay.
It's actually Courtney Cox's uncle. She's. I didn't even put that together until I was in my mid-20s. And so, long story short, I was 12 years old. My mother gets a phone call, and she's like, Rhonda, and she's like, that was my dad's name of my father's second wife. Rhonda, calm down. Rhonda. I'm sure it's not as bad as you think. Rhonda, calm down. Okay, fine. We're getting in the car. We're coming over. And she's like, get in the car. Your dad did something stupid. I was like, okay, I was 12. And we get over there, and I can show you a picture. You walk into my father's house, and it's a big screened-in porch. And the first thing you see is the pool. I'm 12. There was no Birds and the Bees talk yet.
You didn't know what it was.
I had no idea what it was. I had no idea why everyone was so angry. No
You're
idea.
like, what? It's a pool. Yay.
I'm like, it's a pool. Like, why are we mad about a pool? And so I hear the adults talking, and I'm kind of going, there's something going on here, but I'm not quite sure. And Dad's like, what do you think of the pool? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I think of the pool? It's a pool. And he's like, it's cool, right? Yeah, it's cool. Okay. And Mom's like, well, I know who's giving her the Birds and the Bees talk because she built a monument to it in the backyard. And that was when it was explained to me what it was. So I'm sitting there at 12 going, okay, this is going to change a few things about the trajectory of my life.
Well, because now all your friends come over to swim in your pool, and then their parents come over, and then you're known in school as the girl with the penis pool.
Well, yes. And beyond that, you're talking a small town in Alabama.
So the whole town knows.
Well, yeah, there weren't a lot of people to tell, and all the people that you could tell had already been told.
I mean, you can laugh about it now, but it probably is really fucked
Oh, at the
up.
time it was traumatizing.
Yeah.
When you are 12, everything is embarrassing. I mean, everything about your life, everything about your parents, everything about everything is embarrassing. And I just remember saying to my dad, like, obviously not very eloquently, but I was like, Dad, don't you think this might affect like the resale value? Like, don't you think it might be hard to sell the house? And he's like, no, because it's awesome. And that was the moment I realized, I was like, I don't think I want to be a doctor if it means that I have to have a pool in the shape of whatever I practice in the backyard. And I actually found out the night before my wedding. You know why he built it?
Why?
Someone dared him.
He was like at the local bar. And
Yeah, essentially. Another doctor dared him because one doctor had like a kidney-shaped pool. Like, that could be anything. An orthopedic surgeon had a bone-shaped pool, which just seems kind of kitschy and fun and
it could be like
reasonable.
a dog pool.
And no, that he was dared. Some other doctor dared him, and he told me that the night before my wedding. He's like, well, you know why I built the pool? I'm like, no, I don't actually. He's like, someone dared me.
All right. Well, there's Dad. We get to know him. So Mom, you're at home with Mom, and does she date a lot when you're in the house? Or?
Actually, no. So I very vaguely recall her going on essentially maybe one-ish date when I was around maybe 12 or 13. Because once again, you know, being in a small town, if you ended up in Dothan, either you were from there or you were most likely a doctor. Because that's how my father was recruited there. Because Dothan, Alabama is sort of the midway point between like Panama City Beach or 30A, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And then about an hour and a half north, you have Montgomery, which is the state capital. And it's a lot of rural areas in between there. So if you ended up in Dothan, you were most likely a doctor because we had two very large hospitals, one that was kind of coming in off of one of the main highways and one that leads to the beach. So you had one hospital like it at each end.
Okay.
So that's how most people end up in Dothan. It's that you don't, unless you're from there, you normally end up there because of that.
So how did you end up in DC? Because you, before NeverMissed, you were the Assistant United States Attorney for the District of Columbia.
Yes, but how I ended up in DC is after I graduated college and law school at SMU in Dallas, I turned 30. And this actually, ironically, 100% leads back to NeverMissed. I was dating.
What year was this? I like to look at my, like, the dating, like, decades. Like, how you dated in these decades.
Oh, yes. Dating in your 20s was just the guy at the bar or the guy that was around. It was never, you didn't have to seek anyone out because there was always people there.
Yeah. So we grew up at the same time. We're around this, like, we're basically the same age.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was the bar, definitely for me in Hollywood. You and
in Dallas, it was the same way. I mean, in Dallas, it was very much the same way. You know, Dallas, they joke, is just LA with a Southern accent and more money.
Yeah. And everything's bigger in Dallas, so it's a little different.
The hair. I mean, here's the thing. I love the vibe of Austin, but I like the shopping in Dallas.
Yeah.
If we could find a perfect city that could have both of those things, I'd be there.
Here's a funny side story, just since you're a Tone It Up girl. When we went on our Tone It Up tour in 2017, and we had a Dallas stop, and back then I wore extensions. It's like,
as did I.
Oh yeah. And
R.I.P.
got to the airport, and I was like, I forgot my extensions. I was like, it's okay, don't need it. Assistant was driving, turned around and said, "Oh, you're going to Dallas. You need your extensions."
Yes, you do. Yeah. That's a criminal act.
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm glad your assistant understood the emergency there.
Yes. But okay, so Dallas, DC.
So how I ended up in DC is,
or we were talking dating in decades.
Well, that's kind of part of the reason. I'll be honest, it was part of the reason I moved to DC. Yeah. I mean, not all of it, and not 100%, but I turned 30 and I kind of looked around and I was like, every guy here is still the same. Mm-hmm. They're not progressing. They're not, they're in their 30s, but they're really in their teens. And I guess in my head, being raised in the South and, you know, where I come from, and I'm not shitting on this by any stretch of the imagination, but growing up, I went to a small private school. There were 35 people in my graduating class. Of those 35 people, almost all of them went to either Alabama or Auburn, which was, you know, between 2 and 4 hours away from home. And my mom told me, like, no, you cannot apply to any school in the state of Alabama. You have to leave. Yeah. And I was like, I have to leave? She's like, yeah, you have to get out and see the world. Because if all you ever see is the state of Alabama, that is the furthest you will ever go. And she was like, I love you, but I need a plane ride to get you. And I was like, oh. Okay. Yeah. Well, you're paying for this, so okay. And so all of a sudden I'm 30. And I look around and I just go, every guy is the exact same person he was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Every guy that I meet has no intentions of doing anything more that weekend than day drinking and being by a pool, which is fun and fine. But as women, all of a sudden you hit 30 and I feel like there is a certain, I don't even want to say it's biological clock, but at least being from the South, I knew that wedding season is a real thing. And when you're in your 20s and you're going to 4 or 5 weddings every summer and they start kind of thinning out and you go, oh no, am I aging out of this wedding season? Because you want to make sure you're in that wedding season curve. Mm-hmm. And, you know, growing up, you know, there was seen as something wrong with you if you weren't engaged by your last semester of college.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Times have changed.
I mean, thank goodness.
But I also so 30, because I was single around 20. I was single again around 27, 28. And that's when it went from meeting at bars to like eHarmony.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And
oh,
eHarmony.
Oh, gosh. eHarmony, Match. Yeah. Oh, yes.
I didn't do Match. I did eHarmony because it was the one that was like.
You had to fill out the questionnaire.
It took hours.
But it was fascinating but it's like, I love that it taught you nothing about yourself. Yeah. Can we just I'll say it. And I'm not, I'm not bitching on eHarmony, but I feel like what I learned from that was, it's like, I don't know if you learned anything about me, but I filled out a lot of questions. And I guess I was expecting some kind of feedback, sort of. And it was never really it was just, well, based on your answers, these people seem like they would be a good fit. Not, hey, maybe you need somebody who's, insert qualities that might be, I don't know. But I did eHarmony. I did Match because Match is actually based in Dallas. And and in my head, it was this race to the finish line. It was the race to make it to wedding season. Yeah. And I'll just never forget going on a date with some guy. And I realized I had gone on a date with him probably very early in my 20s. And I was like, oh God, I gotta go. I gotta go. It was almost like, in Sex and the City when Samantha all of a sudden realizes, I've been on a date with you before. I gotta go. And it was kind of that feeling. It was this, I got to get out of here because I love Dallas and I can always come back. But I knew in my heart of hearts that if I didn't make a move, nothing was going to change. And so that's why I was like, how many lawyers could there be in DC? Spoiler alert, all of them.
Are you married to a lawyer?
No. But I'm married to a man that almost went to law school. Close enough. He actually, he has an MBA, another degree in finance. He's the numbers guy.
Okay. Oh, I have one of those.
I have to have a numbers person because I'm dyslexic with numbers and I get very I don't do my own taxes. I mean, he doesn't, I don't make him do my taxes, but you have to have somebody that's creative and you have to have somebody, but he wanted to go to law school until he realized that getting an MBA and getting these other degrees would be, he's like, I can always go to law school. He's like, I can argue like a lawyer, and he can.
Yeah. I was going to say Bobby is the numbers guy, and he has a creative side, but he's more numbers driven, but he can be creative. And I'm very creative, but I can be numbers. I mean, even when starting Tone It Up, I was the numbers girl. I was the contract girl. I was the business side, right. But I love the creative side of it. So being married to a numbers guy allows you to. It is nice because you do get to kind of go, oh, that's taken care of. Thank you. Yeah. All right. I want to get into NeverMissed. Yes. Because this is for all my girlies who are going to tune in. I have a lot of single friends. We're late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. They're on all the apps. Well, you have to be nowadays. Yeah. I mean, there is no other way to do it. I mean, I joke that, back in the day when we were going to bars and we were meeting people, it's because, why? We weren't looking at our phones. We didn't have phones. I mean, some of us did. Yeah. But also, I remember when you could lose a phone and be without a phone for like a week. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how I made plans with friends, but I was always at the club. You just knew. You just went. You knew it. Monday night, it was this place. Tuesday, you go here. I mean, but then again, I'm the person that still has a landline. I mean, I have a landline. I do. I'm a nerd like that because, I don't know the landline number, but I have one. Yeah. So explain what NeverMissed is and why. And you became the CEO in 2018, right? Yes. So I was originally brought on as COO. I met the co-founder Tillman, who brought me on, and he's also an attorney. Ironically, most of the people— You're attracted to that. Somehow we always find attorneys find each other somehow. But so with NeverMissed, we have our biggest thing is we're not trying to replace anyone. We know we can't replace Tinder. We can't replace Bumble, but we're trying to meet people where they're at. And NeverMissed, we're very big on safety, security, and you control how much you can put out there. It's not a searchable database. It's not, eHarmony and your matches even still you could still just search. You could search for anybody. Yep. You can't search for anyone on our app. Okay. We want people to put themselves out there when you want to put yourselves out there. The best way that I can describe NeverMissed is think of like your 3 or 4 closest friends. You've always got the one who drinks a little too much and makes out with some guy. You've got the one who leaves early because, well, they just do. You have the one who arrives late. You have the one who's like, you know what? I washed my hair. Today was hair wash day. I feel good about this. We're going the F out. Yeah. Because you know what? I did my hair. And you think about it from all different points of view of those girls. There's someone for everyone. There's someone who wants to go home early. There's someone who wants to go to 7 more bars and run around town. And there's also someone who guys can very be proud of their grooming, who are also very like, I got a haircut or I shaved. With my husband, it's like, well, I shaved today. Do I look like a new man? I'm like, yes, you do. You always do. Yes. And so what NeverMissed is any one of those girls, if that night they decide they're at a bar, they're at a restaurant, they're at a concert, they're at a club, anywhere you are physically at, you can put yourself out there. You check in, and you can only see people that have checked in, and vice versa. So even if you have the app and you're just somewhere,
No one can see you unless you decide that you want to put yourself out there. Because I think also when you do get to a certain age, and maybe this is just me. Okay, actually, it's probably not. But in the end of the day, I mean, I don't think there was ever a time in my 20s where I ever would have wanted to meet someone at the gym.
Yep.
But there are people that do, that get cute. And I just get sweaty and gross. But
Right.
if you're looking to meet people at the gym, you can use it at the gym.
Right. So when you turn it on where you're available, is it only people in your proximity?
Yes.
Okay. Like within how far?
It depends. We're still working on a lot of the metrics but essentially you're wanting people that are within either that location, technically. So for instance, in fact, I can get my phone out real fast. And so granted, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere and I also don't want to give out your location just for once again, safety and security concerns. But what it boils down to is it comes up, if it'll work, because today would be the day it wouldn't work. But yeah, so you go here. Okay, and of course it's like, oh, we can't find any locations near you because
I live
in the boonies, which is fine and lovely. I mean, I joke that driving out here was like Xanax for the soul. It's like, who needs pharmaceuticals when you live in this area? But yeah, so you check in, and once you check in, you can see everyone else who has checked in. But you can also check out.
Yeah. I'm understanding it too. Like the gym situation. Like I just want to go to the gym. I don't want to meet anyone.
Correct.
I just want to work out. And then the days where you get done up and go to the gym and you're like, I'm ready to chat.
Right. And and once again, and because we want you to meet people that match your energy. We want people that are matching your likes, your dislikes, your activities. So for instance, if you like playing tennis, check in where you're playing tennis. You can find people that are also playing tennis because, we want people that are out doing things, exploring the world, having fun, and they want someone to do that with.
Yeah. So what is it like being a female CEO of a tech company? Because I was reading that there's only 10% of tech companies have female
I believe
CEOs.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I will
And
say
it's a dating app.
It's a dating app.
Yeah.
So it's two sides of that. Part one is sort of the dating app side where people kind of go, oh, a dating app. I'm like, what? People want love. I want to find love. And I'm not one to not help people find that, number one. But number two, I think from the tech side is I worked, being a lawyer, you meet a lot of men, women, what have you, that have this air and this arrogance. The one thing I learned about being in the tech world is women are not, I don't know if you can teach arrogance or if it's just ingrained in you, but the amount of sort of, I know better than you. I'm smarter than you. In this one area, I know so much more than you do. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You do. But about 95% of other areas, I know more than you do. But because you feel like you know so much more than I do, and I'm a woman, there's this automatic dismissiveness, this sort of, oh, you're here. I can't tell you how many Zoom calls and meetings I have been in where the underlying current, and while the words were never said, sweetie, men are talking. I literally had one meeting where it got to a point where those words were almost said, where it was like literally some man went, the men are kind of like the people in charge are talking. I go, well, I'm the one who pays the bills. So whoever you're talking to does not matter. I'm self-funding all of this. So the only person you need to be discussing anything with is moi.
Hey. Yeah.
Well, it's just, and I think as women, assertiveness does not always come off the same way.
Yeah, it comes off bitchy.
It does. It comes off bitchy and sort of territorial.
Yeah. It's like, oh, she's asserting herself. She's
or
being
it's
a
that,
bitch.
or it's just, oh, it's that time of the month, and oh, she just must, and I'm like, oh, lordy.
You're like, we be in menopause, so
Yeah,
no,
we be in chemical menopause, which, by the way, makes me a little more crazy. In case you're wondering, you know what hormones do to you? A lot.
No, you can't use the excuse of hormones either. And men have hormones too.
They do. And I love that men don't like to admit that they have hormones. Men are just like, oh no, it was just. I'm like, no, you were having a little pissy party by yourself, and you needed your your bro time. You needed to have a little bro moment over there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine. Just be you.
And being assertive as a woman, since we're talking about it, for me, it was very learned, like confidence of it. And
I think for me, being an only child, there was a certain amount of, and my mother raised me to be very independent. My mother always told me, never rely on anyone for anything, man, woman, anybody. If you don't have it in you, walk away.
Yeah.
And if you aren't in it, walk away. And I think that by being an only child and having a certain amount of independence and knowing that, I didn't have a sibling that was going to be with me. I didn't have sort of that, security blanket all the time. I think that in and of itself made me a lot more, whether it be, it gave me the confidence to be assertive, but it also gave me the freedom to be assertive because I was used to either kind of standing there and then realizing, if I don't speak up, no one's speaking up for me because no one can hear the voices in my head. At least I don't think they can. and the voices are still mine. They're always my voices.
Just to clarify.
Just to make clear.
So how did you meet your husband?
Well, there's the official story.
Okay.
Which is, and granted, like everyone's parents, no one's parents ever want to hear that you met your significant other via a dating app. And we did. But to be fair, he did live in the same apartment complex as a good friend of mine.
Okay, so you probably passed each other.
Oh, I know we did. I can't imagine we didn't. And so I like to tell people, well, and mostly because there is a certain aspect of being the CEO of a dating app. You don't want to say that you used another dating app, but we did. We met on Tinder.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That would have been you're asking me to do math? Come on. 2017. So we matched on Tinder and we went out, and I remember, and as I blank on the name of the bar we were at, which is now closed, basically we were just sitting there and just talking. And ironically, we are both only children raised by single mothers.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. It's like, I always thought that I wanted to marry someone who had like some big family and did all these things. I'm like, nope, I literally ended up with kind of the male version of my own self.
Well, you probably have that bond and you understand each other that way.
100% understand. It's interesting because being only children, the things you don't realize that you never did, and by not having like a sibling. Now, granted, he had cousins that lived very close by, so he still had a little more of that. Yeah. But I was a true only child. I was not allowed to roam wild, but there is a certain amount of freedom of being the only child, but then there was a certain amount of scrutiny because you're your parents' only concern.
Yeah.
24/7.
So what drew you to be the CEO and want to say yes to NeverMissed?
I think it's because, this sounds silly and I'm going to say it anyway. I wanted to say yes to love because this is pre-pandemic, but I think at a minimum, the pandemic taught us that everyone needs a person, whether that's romantic, but you need strong friendships. You want your person. You want to find your person, especially if you've got to batten down the hatches for 6 months and you can't leave the house.
And how do you think the pandemic, because obviously we know it turned into a loneliness epidemic, and you were working at NeverMissed. How did you see the changes during that time?
Well, it was hard because the whole point of NeverMissed is you're supposed to be out and about.
Right.
And so we were thinking like, okay, how can we pivot?
Yeah, right.
And then we realized we're like, well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pivot when we are, because also we didn't feel like we could encourage people to go out of the house. Like, keep going.
The grocery store with your mask on?
Well, we even got to a point where we were trying to figure out, because another aspect of NeverMissed, the app, is what we have called fleeting moments, which is, you see somebody at the grocery store or you see somebody at the movie theater, anywhere, somewhere. You cross them in your daily life, you see them, you make eye contact, but before you can do anything, they're gone.
Yeah.
Or you're gone. And so the second part of NeverMissed is what we call fleeting moments, which is there's 2 ways you can do it, which is publicly, which is almost like, we call it almost like a message board, where you're kind of outsourcing. It's like, I saw you at this location, you were wearing this, wish I would have met, wish I could have said hi, this is me. And then you can claim it or you can kind of crowdsource it. Which is, it's kind of, it's a little like Misconnections, but it's not, we're trying to find you the person that you saw. And one of the ways that we do that through an algorithm is by, do you remember how, what approximate height, what they, hair length, hair color. So we thought about, we pivoted, we're like, okay, what color mask were they wearing? It's like we were trying to figure out ways to pivot into the pandemic, and it just got harder because it's hard to encourage people to go outside when we can't really, I'm no doctor.
Right.
That's my dad's Dr. Fischer.
So would you say that the app kind of suffered during the
It
pandemic.
did.
Yeah.
And I
a lot
will
of
and
companies
it
did.
had suffered during the pandemic for a couple of reasons. I think the bigger one, and I will admit this on my end, is that my mother passed during the pandemic.
right.
And so, which was both a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, she had lung cancer, non-smoker, non-drinker.
So
And one, it's messed up because whenever you say lung cancer, I feel like you always have to say she didn't smoke.
yeah.
Because it's interesting, even medical professionals don't give you the same amount of sympathy if someone thinks that you brought something upon yourself. And so when she passed, it was part of a blessing because, I mean, she had no immune system. And if she would have gotten COVID, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And the only thing she ever made me promise her was, don't let me die in a hospital surrounded by strangers, horrible, like that hospital smell and beeping machines. She's like, don't let me end up there. And I was like, I'll do everything in my power, humanly possible. And she ended up flying to Houston because her oncologist was in Houston. And she flew to Houston. And mind you, she lived in a hotel room at Hotel Zaza for almost 4 years.
Yep.
Room 343. And so she flew down, went straight to the clinic and was like, give me a double dose of chemo. Because she was like, they were like, no, we need you to spend the night. And she was like, no, it's, Houston's a hot spot. I'm trying to be careful. Give me a double dose of chemo, then I'm going to fly right back home. That was on Wednesday. She got into bed Sunday night and passed away. And so but at the same time, when my mother was diagnosed, it was stage 4 that had gone to her brain, liver, and lymph nodes. And they basically just told me to take her home, make her comfortable, and let her just, waste away. And she was like, no, I feel fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, you do? She's like, yeah, let's go fight this. I was like, okay, let's go fight this.
My mom passed in 2021. And you said Houston, you're going there next. And your father is.
For my father, yes, who is back with, and it's been an interesting road for a second time because it's sort of the messed up part of, yes, I've been the primary caretaker. I mean, when my mother got sick, I dropped everything.
Same.
It was kind of the irony of that was how I could take on NeverMissed, because after I had left the U.S. Attorney's Office, I did, when I was there, I did sex offense, domestic violence prosecutions.
Oh, wow.
And it really resonated something in me. But because I was a special assistant U.S. attorney, I was unpaid. Okay. I was uncompensated. I was unpaid. I went through the same vetting as AUSAs, but I mean, the only difference between the two of us is, well, I didn't get paid. They still do the same fun FBI background check and stuff. But after being there, you have to sign a contract that says you won't reapply for a certain amount of time because they see it as you getting a leg up on a new applicant, which is fair and honest. And I understood that. So once I left the U.S. Attorney's Office, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew that being around vulnerable people who really needed help. And at that point in time, I originally had started a foundation and granted, I need to follow up on this, which is horrible. And I will say that again. But, I really wanted to do something that would help children, because I think the one thing that people forget is that even if you're not old enough to understand what's going on in your house, when there's a wrong feeling, when there's bad feelings, when there's tension, when you're scared. You may not know why you're scared, but you're scared. And after being all around that, all I could think about was like, how do I help? How do I do this? But then right after my mom got sick. So without even thinking, I dropped everything. I dropped out of my charitable foundation and just said, all right, we're going to fight this.
Let's talk about that, because I feel I became my mom's caretaker probably by 36, 37.
Yeah.
And then took a toll. And I would say a lot of people our age don't take that role in at our age.
No. And I think at the same time, we're required to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never but also it's just what you do. And it's so, and for me, I learned that I am horrible at taking care of myself. I can take care of others.
Oh, same. And that's so caretaking and same thing.
Yeah.
With running a business, being a founder, doing all of that, trying to juggle everything, being up in Seattle every weekend, moving my mom to California. It's so much, and you stop taking care of yourself.
I mean, I have photos of myself, and I remember this so distinctly because as as every woman is wont to do, you take pictures of yourself and people take pictures of you. And I remember seeing a photo of myself. And I remember it was almost the thinnest I had ever been. And I remember thinking at the time, I in my head, I was so proud that this pair of jeans fit. Because that's such a girl. I don't know why. It's such a...
Because we're raised that way. We were raised in fat-free, sugar-free,
Weight
17
Watchers.
magazine, Slim Fast.
I remember taking Slim Fast.
Oh, my mom made me.
Oh, wow.
Oh. She's like, here.
Well, I mean, not to one up you.
No, go for it.
But from the age of, when I was in a ballet company, from the age of 9
God.
until I was 19, I was weighed once a week every Thursday.
See, oh my gosh. Okay.
Our dance teacher would post those weights on the front door. So
They
everyone...
don't do that anymore, right?
I don't know.
I'm not one-upping, but here's my other.
Ooh.
My mom always wanted me to be a model. So she
Oh.
took me to Chicago because I'm from Indiana.
And
And
Chicago is the...
yeah, no.
That's
And
your-
the agency where Cindy Crawford was discovered.
Ooh.
And the same agent, and they were like, we'll sign you, but you need to lose 15 pounds. And I'm 12, 13.
Oh, yeah, that tracks.
I was like,
Like from where? Where does that...
Oh, I'm overweight. That, hence, where that spiraled.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yes. I mean, as someone who can drive around Dothan, Alabama and tell you the convenience stores I used to buy laxatives at.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the fun lax. It's like, that convenience store, I used to buy the chocolate-flavored Dulcolax.
What you're talking
Isn't it horrible what you can remember? It's like, I don't know what I had for lunch yesterday.
But I had a piece of chocolate.
But I had a favorite convenience store. I had a favorite convenience store where I could buy, yeah, because once a week we got weighed.
Yeah.
And once a week you learned your worth.
Okay, I want to go back to your dad and
Yes.
caretaking. We're going to reel it back
Yeah.
in. So your dad is in Houston and you're going there.
Yes. And
After this?
he still lives in Alabama, but
Okay.
he's seeking treatment at MD Anderson. And, I think that the irony is the second time around, I've been a lot better because, on the one hand, I do have my two brothers. I mean, yes, they're my half brothers, but they're my brothers. I mean, the three of us look exactly alike. Like my father's genes run very strong.
Yeah.
And so it's the realization of, even just being an advocate for my father, and he's a doctor, and I think that's what makes it harder for him, is that with my mother, like she knew she was sick, but there's a difference between like knowing you're sick and knowing what's happening to your body. And I think with my father, his knowledge of knowing what's going on in his body is terrifying for him because
he knows too much.
He knows too much.
Yeah.
And for me, up until I was in my mid-30s, my dad was still pushing for me to go to medical school.
Yeah. So have you shifted how you take care of you this time around with your father?
Yes. The biggest thing that I've had to do is realize that if I take this on solely by myself, I'm going to be the one that's going to end up in a hospital.
Yep.
I literally found a photo of me. My weight swung 70 pounds.
Wow. With my mom and during that period, I stopped checking my weight, but 40 pounds. But I didn't realize at the same time I was in perimenopause.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Cortisol from so many coming at you from everywhere.
Gosh, my cortisol levels were like, I remember my doctor looking at me and being like, how are you surviving? I'm like, I'm not.
You're like,
And she's like, no, I know you're not. I'm like, well, what my blood work says? She goes, danger? like bad, danger, bad.
yeah.
And I have a lovely endocrinologist who is quite possibly the woman who has like saved my life because, hormones plus responsibility plus fear. There's my mother's issue was and just knowing, and with my mom it was different because we knew she was never going to be cured. It was just prolonging, giving her more time on this earth.
Yep.
With my father, there is my father has throat cancer. And with my father, it's very different because it is something that is curable. It is something that is in theory slow growing, but it doesn't make the treatment any less crappy or any less worse because, my father's gone through chemo and radiation and he now weighs almost less than I do, but it's become a situation where the second time around, I learned how to delegate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because also I'm a control freak because that's another only child thing.
You do everything. Yeah.
Well, because you had to.
Yeah.
Who else was doing it?
Yeah. You know what I love? I don't love it, but You know what I love about hospitals? No,
So many things.
so Bobby, my husband, his dad is currently in Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, Florida, and he's going through a very special treatment. And what I like about that particular hospital, because is Bobby's, they're doing a case study with caretakers.
Oh.
And so Bobby's in a caretaking program where he gets, there's all these manuals and education, and he has a grief therapist once a week.
Why is this
And
not everywhere?
Exactly. I was like, I'm so happy though, when he was telling me that he signed up for this study, because I could see him starting to break a little bit. And the excitement though, when he found out about this, and the excitement he has when he's like, oh, I have to go to my case study, and he like sits in a Zoom and talks to the therapist, and it just, the education and the emphasis on taking care of yourself. And so every hospital needs this program.
I think it's something that boggles my mind that there isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, if we can take away anything from the pandemic that was not mask related, it's, at the end of the day, we don't just need people, we need interactions. There's certain things that we need. And if we don't get them, how much our brains, our bodies, our emotions, and how much we deteriorate. Coping is one thing. But are we ever really coping with anything? No, we're moving through something. Yeah. We're battling a river. We're battling, it's like, I joke that it's like walking up a moving escalator the wrong way without shoes on and it's raining. Yeah. And, you're always running to something. You're running towards something, because in your head, you think, if I'm not there, nothing's going to happen that's correct. Like,
Right.
If I'm not there to control this.
Oh, I'm a control freak, talking to nurses, doctors every day. I had my notebooks, my notes.
Oh, I carry everything on me. I had notepads. I had printed out schedules. Oh yeah. Oh, I printed it out. Oh,
I know. My mom was like, "You're such a good caretaker. You should be a social worker." I was like,
I am.
Not quite my path.
You're like, I am. You're like, I am for you. I'm your social worker.
See? Yes, exactly.
It's like, don't call me your daughter. I am your social worker. I don't have my master's yet, but I feel like, with this work study program, I'm really getting in on the ground floor.
That's right. Internship, baby.
100%. The worst internship you ever applied for and received.
All right, we're going to jump back to the app, because we got some girls listening here like, hello, I'm trying to date. So I pulled up a Forbes article, and a quote from it is, people who experience burnout with dating apps are exhausted from constantly meeting new people, failing opportunities and lies, says Dr. Span. And over time, the unfortunate misgivings of being on a dating app can cause someone to lose hope in the dating process and finding the right person. Any advice from you on how to stay positive, or how to manage the
overload? It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
A lot of it is overload and a lot of it is overwhelming. And I think that the best way that I can think to put it is, I'll bring a full circle back to those 4 friends. Everyone thinks that I guess, let me rewind that. Everyone in their head has this automated timeline that they believe they should find their person by. For me, it was 28.
Yeah.
For me, I always had it in my head that by 28, if I have not found my person, that person doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. I don't know why 28 was the number.
Because we were trained that we were supposed to go to college, get married, have babies.
You go to college to find the guy.
Right.
Or if you don't find the guy, you're supposed to find it right after.
Right.
And then you find the guy, and then you live a little. And then you settle down, you get married, you have kids, period, end of sentence. Mm-hmm. And I think that, at the end of the day, it's very easy to be overwhelmed. It's very easy to be, because on the one hand, you look at and you go, oh my gosh, there's all these options. But then on the other hand, you go, but they all seem exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And I guess the one thing that I can say is, I didn't get married till I was 39. Yeah. And that was, 11 years off.
Oh,
11 years off of my, I guess what I considered maybe an expiration date. And mind you, in my own head, personally. But, at the same time, had I not waited until that age, I wouldn't have met the man that I plan on spending the rest of my life with, and who gets me and who understands me. And I think the other thing of it too is that, especially in your 20s, you're still trying to figure out who you are. And I think the one thing people can focus on is take away the noise. If you can figure out who you are, which I know is not simple or easy, but if you can figure out who you are, that'll help you figure out what you want. And the more you know about yourself and what you need from yourself, that can help you find your person. Because I am not, like, my husband he's a Cancer. So he's very loving and caring, and I'm a Leo. And I can be very loud, sort of almost very, very only child. I'll say it that way. I can be very the only child without realizing a lot of that is only child / Leo. And so with me, he's my grounding force. I've got ADD, I've got dyslexia, so I can get a little like squirrel, shiny object. And he is very much my grounding, my sort of like, I joke, he's like the guy who kind of pulls you at the back of the neck going, no.
Reel it back.
Just a few feet, just maybe sit, maybe take a seat for a second, take a sip of water. And I'm like, oh shit, you're right. That was me, my bad. Yeah. And so I think the one thing I can tell people is that even if you have this artificial internal timeline that you think you've got to make for yourself, or if you have this, if I don't go on X amount, I have girlfriends that go on 4 or 5 dates a week. Wow. That gives me like anxiety, just like.
I can see why
that's so many
they
names.
Could lead to
that's
anxiety.
That's so many names.
Yeah.
Sibling conversations.
I know. Okay, what is your opinion on the best place for a first date when meeting through an app?
Well, I would say from a safety and security perspective, because number one, always meet in public. Don't go to someone's house that you don't know. I mean,
obviously.
It turns out sometimes not so obviously.
Oh, okay.
But I think meet somewhere that you feel safe and comfortable. And also it's always usually a good idea to go somewhere that you have been before. Like if you have a favorite coffee shop, maybe not that coffee shop, but if there's one nearby. So
then that coffee shop's like, she's here again, new guy.
You don't, because you don't want to, you don't want that. But then at the same time, you do want to feel, you want to be someplace that you're comfortable. You want to be someplace where, I'll say it, you want to know where the exits are, whether that's literal or metaphorical.
Mm-hmm. Would you say it's best to do coffee dates or dinner? Like keep it short the first time, or get stuck in a dinner?
I say leave it short with an opportunity to explore.
Okay.
Because I feel like coffee can always go into, you can always start with coffee and go through to more things. But I feel like if you start at dinner, not to say that will always mean you end up at that person's apartment, but I feel like there's a formalness of it, and you want it to be casual because you want your first interaction with someone. You want it to be fun, but you want to learn enough about them to know, does this person match my vibe? Does this person match my energy? Does this person get my sense of humor?
I think what I would do if I was single, which I haven't been in like 16 years or 15, probably 10. I don't know. See, how can you remember?
Time is allegedly
I was
linear.
Married, in 16. Anyways,
if
I was single, I think I would do like happy hour drink or tea or whatever you want. And then if you're vibing, because you can get away after one drink.
Oh, yeah.
But then if you're vibing, you'd be like, hey, you want to get an appetizer?
Yeah. I'm always big on that. I think at the end of the day, you want something that is something that you can build upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that's not like I would never go to a movie. That's just weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Unless you really want to see the movie, but then you don't learn anything about the person.
Yeah.
Unless you go to like Alamo Drafthouse or something like that. That's still a little more whatever, but then you have to sit in silence for like 2.5 hours.
That's awkward.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, but then again, if you have a very distinctive snack preference. Like some people are very big, like I don't like butter on my popcorn. My husband likes butter on his. So it's like sometimes we get 2 separate popcorns because he really wants the butter and I'm like, I can't.
Or do you want to share popcorn with someone you just met and all the buttery and...
As someone who is, I'm not a germaphobe per se, but I don't know you well enough to stick my hand in the same thing.
I'm talking first date.
Yeah, not on a first date. Like I don't. It's like
they go to the bathroom.
Yes, because you have to wonder those things. I joke. It's like you don't know anyone's habits until you live with them.
Okay. So I was recently talking to one of my girlfriends, and we were on her app, and I was just swiping, and it's so fun.
It's so fun as a married woman to look at what is out there.
I learned so much, and I saw a lot of guys are like entrepreneur, but like not like what are, you know.
No, just entrepreneur.
Yeah. But okay. And then I was doing some research and I saw that more than 20% of people lie on their dating app profiles.
Only 20%. First of all, only. But I guess it depends on what are you lying about.
21% of adults polled claim to lie about their age. Men, 23% being even more likely to tweak their numbers than women at 19%. Other reported fibs involve income, 14%, as well as hobbies and interests at 14%.
Why would you lie about your hobbies and interests?
I don't know. 13% admitted to lying about their employment, dating history, and current relationship status.
Oh, that's fun.
And just 12% overall claim they lie about their height. Mostly men.
Well, first of all, I'm no mathematician, but I know that 12%'s a lie. Because I can tell you, I have dated many men who were, I'm 5'10", I'm 5'11". I'm like, first, no one's 5'11". I've never met anyone who's actually 5'11".
But how do you vet how do you know if someone's telling the truth, or how can the app help make sure that people aren't lying?
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that the whole point of it is this person is in the building. Mm-hmm. You can't Photoshop your way. Yeah, you can't Photoshop your way out of your height. I mean, unless you're going to put some lifts in your shoes, and I think that's part of the reason we want. Once again, like I said, we're not trying to replace anyone. We're trying to be complementary, because at the end of the day, we want you to meet somebody that's doing something that you enjoy doing at a location that you enjoy with your friends, and also the moment you can remove the profile and the profile photo from the person in front of you is always good. And and so our whole point is we want you to meet this person in public because we want you to see this person not as their Photoshop, Facetune version, perfect version, AI version of themselves. We want you to see them in their natural habitat, their Tuesdays.
Yeah, this makes sense then, because then you can't lie, because I think a lot of times you can like swipe
you
whatever
still can. You still can.
Yeah, but you would less likely, because I would say a lot of times you swipe, you match with someone, you could spend weeks messaging each other.
And never seeing that person. Then they ghost you and you're like, did that person ever exist?
Right. And they can tell you all the lies, all the hype themselves up, make them feel better.
Well, and also maybe I am the type of person that I don't flirt well over text. I don't know anyone who does.
I don't even communicate well over text.
Nor do I.
Okay, I have a question here.
All right.
First date outfits. What do you recommend?
Well, it really just depends. Which I hate using, which is like a lawyer answer. Oh, it depends. It really does depend. I mean, on the one hand, you have to plan for the activity. I mean, I would say guys versus girls. I mean, guys don't wear a hat. Out of known guys don't wear a hat.
Guys always look better in a hat, and then you're like, what?
And then they take the hat off, and you're like, wait, what happened there? So, I would say don't wear a hat. Women, they always say don't wear too much makeup. I'm like, wear whatever makeup you want, because if it's you, I think what people forget is that, yes, you want to make a good impression, but also you want to be you, because you want the person to like you for who you are. So if you're like, oh, well, I'm going to wear this outfit and I'm only going to talk about this, or I'm only going to, granted, yes, there are things you probably shouldn't talk about on a first date, but I think if you want to get to know somebody, you just be you. If you're comfortable in jeans and a tank top, go for it. If you want to wear a dress, go for it. If it's summer in Texas, I would probably suggest wearing something that you can sweat in.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who Gala Darling is. She was on the podcast, and she was talking about her dating life, and she had turned 40 and she's married now. And she had this rule where she was on the apps and she's like, I'm going to go on 100 dates. Wow. And she had a dating outfit. And it's the first time I heard this, because it's kind of like when you have to decide if you're going 5 nights a week or 5 dates a week. You
have to have that capsule. It's a dating capsule wardrobe, essentially.
And she's like, it took away so much stress.
Wow.
She's like, and I chose an outfit that it was like, it didn't show any cleavage. It was like a black and
I understand not wanting to be scandalous.
But she said it showed enough of the curves of her body, but not too much.
Oh my goodness. This reminds me of like reading the rules.
Yeah. I thought that was good advice.
And I think that is pretty good advice. I mean, I think because on the one hand, I mean, you don't need to show up in a Hervé Leger like bandage dress. I mean, unless you're maybe in LA. Actually, that's kind of an LA thing now. And now the bandages dress.
They're back.
They are back.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. Like on the one hand, I love that because it's like its own pair of Spanx. Mm-hmm. But then I was always the person that still wanted to wear Spanx. So it's like, how do you can't double Spanx that? I mean, I guess you can.
I don't know if you need Spanx if you have that dress.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But I don't hate that it's coming back, but I think that for every woman who wants to be comfortable, they might be disagreeing.
All right. Okay. Where do we get your app?
We get my app. We're on both Android and Apple, so either Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And you can use it anywhere around the world.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, we're trying to get people on there because we just want people to meet people. I mean, I can't guarantee you the person you meet is going to be the love of your life.
Yeah.
But they might be your new best friend. They might be your new wingman. You never know. And I think that another thing we want to do is we want to give people, a nice introduction for you to meet people that you maybe wouldn't always look for on the app because we're not taking your information and telling you.
Yeah.
Our job is not to tell you who you should date or you should not date or who we think is good for you. We're just giving you who's here. So I think there is a power in not just giving you all the options, but letting you choose.
Yeah.
Because I think there is something to be said about, I don't know, like, for instance, if God forbid anything happened to my husband, please no, hopefully not ever. But if something were to happen to my husband, apps only give you what they think you want. Mm-hmm. And that's based on very limited questions of what you have decided you want.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where we're trying to bridge that gap between what you want, what you think you want, and who's in front of you.
Yeah.
And I think, the one thing I think we should all be doing a lot more these days is actually opening up our eyes and looking around.
And that's kind of what the app makes you do.
Yeah, because our whole point is we want you to open up the app to then put that phone right back down.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, technology is great. But at the same time, I make this joke and it always comes out somewhat the wrong way. I didn't marry my husband because he sent me funny memes. Mm-hmm. Does he send me funny memes? Yes. He does all the time. But that's not why we fell in love. We fell in love because we could sit down and have a meal and not realize that we've eaten 3 courses and 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah. I would say, the more I learn about the app, it's like you put the phone back down because it's kind of like the old school days.
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, also back in the day, all your phone did was make phone calls.
Yeah, and so with this though, back in the day, you have to like check the ring finger, then start the conversation and try to get to if they're single or interested in dating.
Then it's how do I make eye contact without it being like, hey, like,
it takes the guessing out of it.
Well, and that's what we're trying to do as well, because also the whole point of it is that if you're putting yourself out there, it's an invitation.
Yeah.
And most people, as a woman, I was never confident enough to go up to a guy in a bar, even if the guy was definitely even if the guy was smiling and waving and making eye contact, I would have been like, yeah, you know what, you can please don't make me be that girl. Don't make me make the first move. So I think that part of what we want to do also is to give you that confidence to say, hey, that person that is making eye contact with you, he's here, he wants to meet you. Put that phone down and walk right over there.
I love it. Confidence. Well, thank you, Stephanie Fischer,
you.
CEO of NeverMissed app. If you're single out there, download it.
Use it. Just enjoy it. And also, please give us feedback. The biggest thing we want to learn is we want to learn what people want. Yeah. And I think what people do want is people want options, but they also want to meet people where they're at. And they want to meet people doing the things they enjoy doing. So please download it. Please use it. It's free. Mm-hmm. It is free. Every feature is free. So please do.
I'm going to tell all my single girlfriends.
You should. The biggest thing is that, like I said, we just want to be a complimentary to things you do every single day.
Yeah.
If you see a cute guy in the grocery store,
you know what else is good about it is it makes you, if you want to match or like find someone.
Yeah.
It makes you get off your couch and get out.
And that's because that's part of it too, is that yes, you can message people, but we want the messaging to be, hey, I'm at this side of the bar, or I'm on this side of the room, or I'm at the bar stool over here, or I'm at the table over here. It's not, the messaging is not meant to replace actual human physical interaction and conversations, because how you decide you like somebody or don't like somebody is right here. I mean, granted, sometimes it's easier in email or text. I mean, you can discern. Touche. But I think, when you're trying to meet somebody, and also there is a certain amount of comfort in knowing that you can check in, you can look around, and if you don't see anybody or you just aren't feeling it, you can check out. And the moment you check out, you're not visible anymore. So you don't have to sit there and worry like, oh my gosh, is that, who's staring at me? Is someone viewing my profile? Is someone, checking me out? It's like, no. And also we've implemented certain security features like face, we make you verify the photos you post have to be you.
That's good.
It sounds so earth-shattering and groundbreaking, but it kind of isn't. We want you to be you, and we want you to find, there's a person for everyone. Mm-hmm. And even if you think that you're some unicorn, that there's nobody, trust me, there is. And I think that, meeting people where they're at, finding people that are doing things that they love to do, or even if it's just, hey, I washed my hair.
Hey,
hit me up. I washed my hair.
Looking good. Get out there, girl.
I washed my hair this morning. I'm not on the lookout though, but I did wash my hair today.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here and for all the giggles.
Finding people that are doing things that they love to do, or even if it's just, hey, I washed my hair.
Hey,
hit me up. I washed my hair.
Looking good. Get out there, girl.
I washed my hair this morning. I'm not on the lookout though, but I did wash my hair today.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here and for all the giggles.
The big silence. It's time to sing.